Everyone's talking about data centers these days. The news, your LinkedIn feed, that one friend who works in IT. But hold on. What actually is a data center? And why is everyone so obsessed with it? Let me explain. Plain language, I promise. Right now in Australia, companies are building a kind of building that will drink as much electricity as 1 million people. That's roughly one whole Gold Coast, plus a few suburbs. And here's the weird part. This building has almost no windows, almost no people inside, and it produces nothing. Nothing you can touch, anyway. Yet buildings like this are quietly becoming the most expensive construction projects on Earth. The companies building them are spending more than humanity spent going to the moon. Yes, the moon. And the reason is something you probably did today. You asked an AI a question. Ever wondered what actually happens in the seconds after you press enter? Because your question doesn't vanish into some invisible cloud. It travels, physically, to a building exactly like this one. So in this video, I'll show you, in plain language, what a data center really is, the wild journey your question takes, and why AI has kicked off the biggest building boom in the history of computing. Oh, and near the end, I'll tell you about the one thing these giant buildings fear most. And no, it isn't hackers. You've probably heard people say, "Just save it to the cloud," or "My photos are in the cloud." But where exactly is this cloud? Well, the cloud isn't a physical object, and it isn't in the sky. It's simply a name we use for powerful computers sitting somewhere else. Instead of storing your files or running apps on your own computer, those jobs are handled by computers in secure buildings, called data centers. Every time you send an email, upload a photo, stream a movie, or ask ChatGPT a question, your request travels over the internet to one of these buildings. The computers there do the work and send the result back to you, usually in less than a second. So the next time someone says, "It's in the cloud," you'll know what they really mean. It's on a computer, in a data center, somewhere in the world. Now, let's step inside. At first glance, it may not look impressive. No rows of office desks, no people working at screens. Instead, long corridors of tall black cabinets arranged in perfect rows, humming day and night. These cabinets are called server racks, and inside each one are dozens of powerful computers, called servers. Unlike the computer on your desk, these machines never sleep. They run 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. A modern AI data center can hold tens of thousands of these machines. The largest new facilities? Over 100,000 specialized processors, all working together every single second. But the computers are only part of the story. To keep them alive, the building needs a constant river of electricity, industrial cooling to carry away the heat, high-speed fiber connections to the outside world, and backup power that can take over in an instant if the grid fails. In many ways, a data center is a highly specialized factory. But instead of producing cars, clothes, or food, it produces the most valuable resource of our time: computing power. A data center is a factory that manufactures computation. For decades, data centers were filled with ordinary servers, built around chips called CPUs, processors designed to do one calculation at a time, very, very fast. But AI works differently. To answer your question, an AI model doesn't need one calculation at a time. It needs millions of calculations, all at once. And that is the job of a different chip, the GPU. Now, GPUs were originally invented for video games. Their job was drawing millions of pixels on your screen, all at the same time. Then researchers discovered something remarkable. The same design that draws explosions in a game, it's perfect for the mathematics of artificial intelligence. Today, a single modern AI chip can cost as much as a luxury car, and the most advanced AI data centers contain hundreds of thousands of them. But here's the catch. One rack of AI chips can draw more electricity than 100 homes. The old data centers, built for email and websites, were simply never designed for machines this hungry. And that, in one sentence, is why the world suddenly needs a whole new generation of data centers. Now, let's follow one question. From your keyboard to the answer on your screen. Imagine you type, "Why is the sky blue?" The moment you press enter, your question leaves your phone or computer, travels through your Wi-Fi to your internet provider, and then races across a network of fiber optic cables connecting cities, countries, and continents, some of them lying on the ocean floor, until it arrives at an AI data center, perhaps thousands of kilometers away. There, your question is picked up by a cluster of those specialized AI chips working together. They don't search a list of web pages like a traditional search engine. They analyze your words and perform trillions of mathematical calculations to generate a brand new answer, one that has never been written anywhere before. Then the answer travels all the way back across the same network and appears on your screen. Total time? A few seconds. Your question may have crossed an ocean and back faster than you can blink twice. Now, here's a surprising fact. Your individual question costs very little electricity, less than watching TV for a few minutes. So, why the massive building boom? Two reasons: scale and training. Scale first. You are not the only one asking. Millions of people asking billions of questions every single day. And every one of them needs those chips for a moment. And unlike a search engine, which mostly finds pages that already exist, AI has to manufacture every answer from scratch. Second, training. Before an AI model can answer anything, it has to learn. And teaching a new model can occupy tens of thousands of chips, running day and night for months. Add it all up, and the numbers get hard to imagine. In 2024, the world's data centers consumed about 415 terawatt-hours of electricity. By 2030, that's projected to more than double, to roughly the entire electricity consumption of Japan. Which is why companies like OpenAI, Microsoft, Google, Amazon, and Meta are pouring in hundreds of billions of dollars. Single projects like OpenAI's Stargate have been announced at $500 billion alone. In many ways, AI has kicked off a new kind of industrial revolution, one where the most valuable resource is no longer oil or steel, but computing power. But this entire revolution rests on one fragile assumption, that the electricity never, ever stops. So, what happens when it does? Imagine this. You're in the middle of a bank transfer. A hospital is pulling up patient records. Millions of people are mid-conversation with an AI. If a data center suddenly lost power, all of it could stop, within seconds. For these buildings, even a moment of darkness is not an option. That's why every serious data center is built with layers of backup power. The instant the main grid fails, a system called a UPS, an uninterruptible power supply, takes over. Giant banks of batteries, keeping every server running without losing even a fraction of a second. But batteries can't run a building like this for long. So while the UPS holds the line, the big machines wake up. Massive backup generators, Diesel engines the size of shipping containers roar to life automatically and take over within seconds. And these generators can keep the entire facility running until mains power comes back, for hours, even days, as long as there's fuel in the tanks. So the lights in your city may go out, but the data center stays on. Electricity is only half the battle, because there's another enemy, and it's inside the building. Heat. When 100,000 processors run at full speed, they generate staggering amounts of heat. One single AI rack gives off as much heat as 100 room heaters, running at once. Without cooling, these machines would overheat and shut down within minutes. Traditional data centers fight back with carefully controlled air. Cold air fed to the front of each rack, hot air pulled out the back. But modern AI chips run far hotter than ordinary servers. So hot that air is no longer enough. The newest AI data centers are switching to liquid cooling, fluid flowing directly over the processors, carrying the heat away, exactly like the coolant protecting your car engine. So building an AI data center, it turns out, isn't really a computer problem. It's an electricity problem, a cooling problem, and a construction problem, all at once. As AI spreads into everything, data centers will keep growing. In number and in size. And here's the twist. The hard part is no longer building faster computers. It's finding enough electricity, land, water, cooling, and cables to feed them. That's why new AI data centers are being planned right next to power stations, renewable energy farms, and major grid connections. The intelligence may feel digital, but everything behind it is intensely physical. Buildings, cables, cooling plants, batteries, generators, and staggering amounts of electricity. The future of AI may depend as much on concrete and copper as it does on code. So, the next time you ask ChatGPT a question, stream a movie, or save a photo to the cloud, remember what's really happening. Your request races across continents to a building with no windows, where 100,000 processors and trillions of calculations produce your answer, and deliver it back before you've finished sipping your tea. What feels like a simple conversation is carried by one of the most complex engineering systems humans have ever built. And this is only the beginning. In the next video, we're going deeper, inside the one system these buildings can't live without, the backup power standing between the AI revolution and total silence. Why is even a few seconds of darkness catastrophic? And how do engineers make sure it never happens? If you enjoyed this, subscribe. There are many more stories about the hidden engineering behind the technology you use every day. See you in the next one.